Hello, welcome to Strong and Slow Flow Yoga. And today we are going to build up to side planks. And we're going to do that on the forearms day. And I'm going to give different options for different people. So some of you will lift a little bit, some of you are going to lift a lot, but I think there will be an option there for everyone for sure. So we're going to use a block or two today. Definitely one. Two is better if you have them, and have your water out, and then maybe a folded blanket if you need to sit on that or use it for knee cushion. Other than that, we don't need anything else, and we will get started. So coming to a nice full seat and making any adjustments that you need here. And could you envision your ears, your shoulders, and your hips being a little bit more in that alignment? Could we zip up from the pubic bone to behind the navel? Your eyes can be open or closed. If they're open, maybe have the gaze forward and cast down. And then just take a moment to notice. Could you soften anywhere that needs to be a little bit more soft? Maybe through the face, the shoulders, the hips. And then bringing that awareness to the breath. So from here, I'm just going to take one hand to the chest and one hand to the belly. And don't make any changes in the breath right now. Just notice, do you breathe in and out through the nose, through the mouth, or a combination? When you inhale, do you expand the rib cage? Do you use the shoulders or the belly with it? And then gently exhaling. Good. So now that we've got a little bit more awareness going on here, see if you can inhale through the nose and expand the rib cage. Hold. Slowly release. Could you have a little bit more deflation in the belly? Inhale. Expanding, now holding. And exhale. One more time. Inhale and expand. Hold. And exhale. Good. And then just take a moment here to set your intention. So you can always set your intention as what you need to give or receive from this class. I'm also going to give you different questions to ponder throughout this class. So once I ask them, I want you to repeat that to yourself, asking yourself that question. And from here, once you're ready, fingertips to the side, palms turning up, and we'll come up. Let's get a nice side bend here, going over towards the left. My right arm is nice and long. Get some, trying also not to collapse the shoulder here. So want to be nice and long to the body, shoulders and hips in alignment, really reaching. And then you choose. You can stay here. You can side bend deeper. You can always come out if yours not working. You can open towards the back. Or if it's okay for you to do a forward flexion of the spine, you can get a kind of a C curve roll here, forehead in the direction of the knee, but not touching. Okay, and then from here, we'll open that back up, reaching up, using your obliques, your side abs. We'll take that to the other side. Reaching over, nice long arm. We'll give you a little bit more engagement down the side body. And breathing. And then once you're ready, you choose. You can stay here. You can side bend deeper. You can open towards the back, or you can find that little C curve roll towards the front. Being mindful with how you need to move. Good. And inhale and reach. And we'll come up and reach up. Good. Nice and tall. Let's rotate. We'll take the arms down, rolling the shoulders back. Breathing and expanding. And we'll come up, moving through center. Good, we'll take that to the other side. Arms coming down, rolling the shoulders back. Good, breathing and expanding. And we'll come back up and come back to center. Good. So because we're going to get into the shoulders a little bit, because you have to in order to do a side plank, we're going to go ahead and kind of do some little stretching here in the wrist first. So go ahead and take, happens to be my left arm, but it doesn't matter which one you take, because we're going to do the same thing on both sides. Good. And just get that little stretch. So if you're someone that has some wrist issue here, maybe osteoporosis in the wrist, carpal tunnel, maybe some arthritis or previous surgeries, do this one with caution. So we don't want any pain, numbness, tingling, or burning here. And then maybe you can take this from side to side a little bit. Good. Now that same hand, good. Your palm's going to face towards the opposite side. Take that thumb into the fist. Your other hand's going to come here. Good. You're going to take that fist towards you. Good. So just getting a little stretch here. And then we'll gently release. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So take your other arm out. Good. Find that little stretchy here. Good. You can do that little roundy thing here, twisty thing, whatever this is called. And then once you're ready, good, we'll take the arm like this, thumb inside that fist, other hand's gonna come up. Good, and just give you a little stretch right here. And then once you're ready, good, let's shake that out. Good, hands are gonna come to the shoulders. Let's move forward and back here. Good, just loosening up this area a bit. Good, and then maybe take that into some circles. And then other direction. Good. Now, I'm going to turn to the side. We're going to take this into a body wave, just so that you can see better what this looks like. So a forward flexion of the spine here, like when in round, is not for you. Just kind of take a long back when we do this one. So arms are out. Good. Here's my exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now hold here. You're going to clasp your hands together. So even if you're doing this with a flatter back, what I want you to try to do is to try to pull your hands apart here. So you should feel the sensation of the shoulder blades trying to separate. And then once you're ready, good. Now I'm going to turn my back to you here just to show you better different things for different people. So from here, good. You can take your hands here, pressing the elbows back. You can clasp the hands here. You can take the hands down, or you can roll the shoulders back and lift. So you find yours wherever it is that you need to find it. This is getting into the front delt, the front of the shoulder. Also just a little bit into the chest. And then we'll gently release and shake this all out. Good. Let's come to all fours here. So you can do this with knees on a blanket if you need to do that. If being up here on the hands is not for you because maybe your wrist doesn't like this hyperextension, you can fold your mat forward. Some of you out there I know have a wedge and that works well for you. So you can lift the wrist up this way, and you can even do down dog here as well if that's something that you want. Another option for what we're going to do right now is you can take your block. This works best with two. Good. And you can take your forearms here. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do some sternum drops. So we're working through protraction and retraction of the shoulders and the scapula. So I'm going to be on my hands though for this, but again, you can be on your forearm, spreading the fingers wide. Good. So I'm going to be protracted here. That means I'm pushing the shoulders away from my ears. I'm pushing the floor away from me. Good. Now I'm going to retract. So I'm going to drop that sternum. Good. Protract, retract, protract, retract, protract, retract, protract, retract, protract. Good. Could you stay here? Inhale, nice cow pose. Exhale, round mad cat pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Now let's warm this up a little bit. If this is enough for you, stay here or follow me. Dynamic cat cow flow. Inhale on the cow. Exhale, rounding. Sinking back, child's pose. Forearms are going to drop to the floor. Elbows stay in. It's a baby push up as you come up. Good. Round. Take it back. Forearms drop, shifting forward. Good. Shoulder issue people, take this one with caution. And then coming all the way back up. Good. Now, we're going to take this into a child's pose here. Knees can be together as wide as the mat or somewhere in between. You can take your arms long in front of you or hands back by the ankles. If you can take your arms long in front of you and you would like a little bit more here, take your block and you can have it on the lowest or the middle setting here. You just want to make sure that your elbow is supported on those blocks somewhere. And then you're just going to come here and let that head drop through. So breathe and expand. Good. And the first question I'm going to ask you to repeat to yourself, ponder to yourself, is what is my purpose? What is my purpose? Good. And then from here, once you're ready, good. We're going to take the hands underneath the shoulders and we'll come back up. Good. Now, again, we're just going to do something real quick here with opposite arm, opposite leg. If you would like to be on forearms, I'm going to recommend the block, but you can also be on the floor. The blocks just lift you up a little bit higher. Or if you can take this onto the hands, such as this. So from here, we're protracted again, pressing into the knuckles of pinky, pointer, and thumb. I'm going to take my left leg back. I'm going to press through that left heel. I'm trying to have equal pressure into my big toe and pinky toe mounds, and I'm going to let that left hip drop slightly. Your elbows can have a little micro bend in them, but I'm pushing the floor away. And then from here, good. Now I'm going to push with that left foot to come forward. I don't want to pull with the shoulders. I want to push with the foot. Good. Maybe you lift a little bit. Maybe you don't lift at all. Maybe you lift a lot. Just make sure that you're not letting the core and the back dip here. And if you're stable there, right arm can come forward right by the ear. Press out of that left shoulder. So we're still protracted. You can stay right here and work on that strength, work on the balance, or you can take it into a diagonal. So belly button still in. We're still breathing. If you took diagonal, we'll come back in. Keep that leg lifted. Right hand's going to come down, reset the shoulders. Cross the left leg across the right. You can stay here and press back through the ankle, or you can take a bow. So be where you need to be here. This looks easy, but this actually took me a little bit of time to be able to do. So patience with yourself. So speaking of patience, go ahead and ask another question here. Good, we'll come back up. Are you patient with yourself but not others? Or are you more patient with others but not yourself? Ask yourself the why with both of those questions. Good. So we'll take this back. Good. We'll press back through that heel. We'll let that right hip drop. We're protracted. Elbows can be slightly bent here. Good. So if you're more patient with yourself but not with others, ask yourself why. If you're more patient with others but are not patient with yourself, ask yourself why. And then we'll come forward. I'm pushing with that back foot. Good. I'm going to lift a little bit. Good. Or a lot. No higher than the hip. Left arm's going to come forward by the ear. I'm pushing out of that right shoulder. Good. I'm breathing. My belly button is into the spine. You're free to stay right here or take it to a diagonal. And then from here, good. We'll come back to center. Good. I'm going to keep that leg lifted. I'm going to take the hand down. I'm going to reset with my shoulder. Good. I'm going to cross that right leg over the left, pressing back through that heel. You can stay there or take a bow with it. Find your breath. We'll come back up. Good. Little child's pose here to reset. Good. All right. So we're going to come into a downward facing dog from here. Downward facing dog from here. So coming up, good. If you are 5 foot tall and taller, take a half a hand's width or full hand's width forward. If you're shorter than that, like yours truly, you can stay right where you are. I'm spreading the fingers wide, rooting through the knuckles of pinky, pointer, and thumb. I'm going to tuck the toes. I'm shifting back. I'm pressing in and forward into my hands. I'm allowing that pressure to lift my knees and my hips. Good. Heels may or may not touch the floor here. Let's come into good form. So I'm pressing evenly into big toe and pinky toe mounds. They're about hip width apart. I'm pressing in and forward into the hands. I am protracted in the shoulders. They are away from the ears. Head and neck are free. From the shoulder, I'm going to turn the elbows more in line with my pointer and the thumb. So I did that from the shoulder, which means I'm not turning my hands or whole arms out. Okay, so you may not have a big range of motion where you can do that. Do what you can do. And why is that important? Well, that facilitates a stronger and more stable shoulder girdle, which not only helps you here, but will also help you in plank, as well as side planks, and just, day-to-day living for stuff. Good. So once you found your good down dog, you can lift and lower the heels. You can walk your dog. You can bend and stretch. The deeper you bend, the harder it is. Good. And we'll take some stillness. From here, inhale, look forward, bend the knees. Pushing with the feet. Walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. If you don't touch the floor very well here, use your block. Good. Now from here, lift the toes. Can you feel all 4 corners of the feet here? You want to engage all 4 corners of the feet and probably just a little bit more through the heel when we do this next one. So pressing through the feet, lift and lengthen halfway, long back. Hands to floor, block, shins or thighs. Good. Knees should also be slightly bent here, especially if you've got a tight backside. Exhale, bending those knees, and we'll bow. Good. Again, get into all 4 quarters of the feet, a little bit more into the heels, pressing through those feet and legs. Long back as you rise. Make the legs take the load. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Finding your mountain, a little bit softer in the knees, fighting intention. All right. Sun salute traditional. Number 1, you choose to take or skip the flow. Big inhale and we'll reach. Exhale, we're going to bend and we're going to bow. Pressing through the feet and the legs. Lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, we'll bend and we'll bow. Planting the hands. Step or hop back to plank. You choose. Take or skip a flow. Good. Finding your down dog. Finding your good, stable down dog. From the down dog, inhale, look forward, bend the knees. Good. From the feet, walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Pressing into the feet and the legs, lift and lengthen halfway. It's so much better on the back. It takes a lot of pressure out of the back, pain out of the back when you use your legs and not your back to take the load. So be mindful of your movement habits. Good. Exhale, we'll bend and we'll bow. Pressing through the feet and the legs. We'll rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Finding breath, mountain intention. Good. Let's add on to that. We're going to do this one a little slow. You might want to have one block handy, so I'm just going to have that right there. Good. Inhale, we're going to reach and lift. Exhale, we'll bend and we'll bow. Pressing through the feet and the legs. Lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, and we'll bend and we'll bow. Planting the hands. Good. Step or hop back to plank, take or skip a flow. Now I'm going to skip this one, but feel free to take it. Also know you can also do a cobra variation there if upward facing dog is not for you. Good. So I'm finding my good down dog here. Give you some time to do that flow. From here, your left leg is going to lift 3-point, bending that knee. You're going to push from the right leg to come forward. Use your abs to step or pick up and put your left foot forward between the hands. We don't want to do things from back here. This looks as uncomfortable as it feels. So if you need to pick up and put that foot more forward, then that's what we need to do. Good. And we're going to lower down that back knee. Good. Find the length. Good. Now the right hand can be on your block or the floor. Good. And once you found the length, we're going to open towards the left. And exhale, we'll take that down. Good. You can have a block on underneath the left hand or the floor on the outside of that left foot from length. We're going to open towards the right. Good. What about, am I living my truth? Am I living my truth? And we'll take that down. Or maybe you need to back up to that a little bit and be like, well, what is my truth? What is my truth? Good. Planting the hand, tucking the back toe, lifting the back knee. Front foot's going to step back. You choose take or skip that flow. Always returning to the breath. We're going to repeat that on the other side. So right leg's going to lift 3 points, bending that knee, using that left foot and leg to move you forward, abs to help you step or pick up and put that left foot forward between the hands. That left knee's going to come down. Find your length. Again, so you can have a block under the left hand or left hand to the floor. We're going to open to the right. Remember, always twisting from length. And taking that back down. Right hand to a block or to the floor on the outside of the right foot, finding that length, opening to the left. And taking that down. Good. From here, you're going to plant the hands, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, front foot steps back, and take or skip a flow. You're reconnecting with your downward facing dog. And then from here, good, go ahead and bend the knees and take it down. Good, you can find another little child pose here. And then once ready, good, we're going to come forward onto the belly. Now, this is where you want to have that block at the ready. Good. Good. And I'm just going to kind of wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here. You want your legs to be about hip width apart. We're going to do a locust here, what I call a freestyle locust. And then we're going to do something fun with that block. So I'm going to take my hands back by the hip. Palms can face up or down. That's going to be personal preference for you. And I'm going to roll the shoulders back. I'm zipping up that front body. So you choose here, you can just lift the upper, just lift the lower, or upper and lower can come up together. So once you're zipped up, good. On your inhale, find your locust variation that is best for you. Reaching from shoulders to fingertips. You can reach from hip to toe, but make sure you're not reaching so much that you get a foot cramp there. And we'll take that down. Good. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Now, here's the hard part. We're going to take a block. I want you to hold it this way. Good. And we're going to play past the block here. And this is harder to do when you're belly down. It can also be a challenge to do the same exercise when you're standing up. But I'm just going to take it from the right side. Good. And pass it. And take it forward. Now, if you've had shoulder surgery or something like that, this might be a little difficult. So do it with caution if you choose to do it at all. Remember, you are in charge of you. Good. And we'll come back center, making sure I don't spill my water there. And we'll reverse that. And you might notice now it's easier or harder for you to do this in one direction or the other. Or it might be just equally challenging to do it no matter what direction you're doing. Good. And one more time. Good. And we'll bring that down. Make a little recovery pillow here with your hands. Set your forearms there and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then from here, good. Hands under the shoulders. We're going to come back. Make your way back to your downward facing dog. Your downward facing dog, and whatever that looks like there. If you would like to move forward real quick here through a little belly down vinyasa, feel free to take it. Or you can just hang out here with me in a down dog for a moment. Practicing good down dog form, pressing the shoulders away from the ears. Good. Elbows are going to rotate towards your middle and pointer finger. And once you've made it to your down dog, inhale, look forward, bend the knees, walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Use your feet to get you there. Good. Lift and lengthen halfway, nice long back, press into the feet and the legs. Exhale, and we'll bend and we'll bow. Now, pressing into the feet, we're going to rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Finding breath, mountain, intention. All right. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to step out wide here. Good. So a good place to be is, and you want to make sure that you're not out too wide. So a good kind of rule of thumb is when you take your arms out, that your wrists and your ankles are in that relative alignment. It's okay to be a little bit wider than that, but we don't want to come out super, super wide. Your hips, knees, and toes are tracking forward, so tracking towards me, and you want your toes to be even to each other. So you don't want one foot more forward than the other. From here, we're going to take the hands to the waist. I'm going to roll the shoulders back. I'm going to point my elbows back behind me, and I'm going to keep zipped up. I'm going to hinge from the hips. I'm pressing through the outer edges of the feet. Now, different things for different people. Those of you that want a little bit more challenge, you're a little bit stronger. Good. You can pause right here. Those of you that cannot quite pause right there, go ahead and take your hands down to the floor. Good. And now those of you that took the pause, go ahead and take your hands down to the floor. Good. Now, I'm still pressing through the outer edges of the feet. I don't want to collapse onto the inner arch here. So this is a freestyle fold. So you're free to walk your hands forward, shifting the hips back. You can leave your hands under the shoulders, bending the elbows back. You can reach your arms underneath you. You can take a yogi toe here, but find yours. Find length in the torso wherever you're at. So if you're not quite sure, we don't want to do this from a rounded position. Think about, I'm going to do a cow pose here. So that should help you get a little bit more length. If your head doesn't touch the floor, you can let it hang free. Breathe. Well, how can I cultivate a little bit more joy in my daily life? How can I cultivate a little bit more joy in my daily life? Now from the fold, good. We're going to carefully undo and coming back up. Different ways to come out for different people. Those of you that are stronger, you're going to press the outer edges of the feet. You're going to use your core and your legs to bring you up here. Those of you that need to are going to bend the knees a little bit and you're going to walk your hands up your legs as you come up here. Good. So if your ankles and wrists are in the alignment here, then you should be in a good place. So I'm going to turn my left leg out. Good. So my hip, knee, and toe are going to turn to the left. From my right hip, I'm going to turn that inward. So I'm at an angle. Find the alignment that's appropriate. So it might be heel to heel. It might be heel to arch. This leg might need to come out a little bit wider. From here, my front hip's going to come back. Back hip's going to come forward. I'm going to let that knee bend, knees tracking towards the pinky toe, and then try not to move the hips. I'm going to open my chest to the side, finding warrior two. Breathing. Good. This time you want to relax the shoulders again, so we don't want them to be creepy up by the ears. Good. Now I'm going to lengthen that leg. Good. I'm going to bring that foot back in. Once I'm back to center, hips, knees, and toes are going to turn out away from the body. And hips, knees, and toes are going to track in that same direction. Sunrise flow. Big inhale, exhale. Good. So I'm still pressing through the outer edges of the feet a little bit here. You can test your balance, test where you are in your feet. Could you lift your toes and stay in all four corners of the feet as you move here? If that's too much of a challenge, lower the toes. We're going to come. We're going to be right here. Good. Now, make sure you're not in this big hinge forward here. We want to be up a little bit. Zipping up. Look where you're going as you rotate. Good. So try to keep this more in the torso. Try not to let the hips shift around. Now, from here, keep your head forward and rotate. Notice how it's a little bit different there. Notice if you're even able to do it without moving the head. And coming back up. Good. And exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to take that all to the other side. So I'm going to take this leg now, inward 45. This leg's going to turn out. And I'm going to find the alignment that works best for me, knowing that your alignment might be different on one side than the other, as it is for me. Once I've got that set, my front hip's going to come back, same hip as this leg. Good. I'm going to put a bend in that knee. Good. Taking the chest to the side and reach. Good. Pressing through the back edge of that back foot. Breathing. Finding the breath. When you're ready, good. We'll lengthen that leg and we'll come back in. From here, we're going to go right back into sunrise flow. Hips, knees, and toes are going to track. From here, big inhale and reach and take it down. Inhale. Good. How about, do I use my words to empower and heal? Or do I use them to tear down and hurt? Do I use my words to empower and heal or tear down and hurt? Good. Now from here, we're going to take this forearm to this thigh. Good. Reach up and over. Again, try not to hang. You want to be nice and supported. We'll come back up. Could you do that to the other side? Be nice and supported, reaching. And coming back up. Good. We'll come back up here. Good. From here, you can heel toe it in, or hop it together. We're going to come back to the top of our mat. Good. And we're going to come to a warrior three. A warrior three. So if you've got one block, you can have that block right here. If you've got two blocks, you can have them side by side. Now, if you've been using your block here for a while and you're wanting a little bit more challenge, but maybe you're not ready to come off the blocks yet, try a lower block setting and see if that helps a little bit here. Good. So from here, we're going to do the left side first. So hip, knee, and toe of that left leg are going to track forward. Good. And I'm going to zip up nice and tall. Before I move, I'm going to look for a drishti, a gazing point forward and down somewhere on the floor, somewhere that's not moving, and I'll pick up this foot. Good. From here, good. I'm going to start to take it back. And remember, for some people, this might be all you can do, and that's okay. Others are going to come to your blocks. Good. Now make sure this hip, knee, and toe are tracking forward. Things didn't shift and turn inward to come here. We don't sacrifice form to get to the next level. Make sure that this hip is also in a good alignment. So we're not turning it out. That's a different pose. Hip, knee, and toe are pointed towards the floor in warrior three. Now really pressing into that leg and heel and hip. Maybe you start to play with coming away from the blocks a little bit or reaching down. Maybe full warrior threes in your practice and you're taking one of those options. Breathing. And then once you're ready, good. Carefully come out of there the way that you need to. Back foot joins the front foot, pressing through both legs. Good. Coming up, shaking out your support. And we'll do that to the other side. Good. So right hip, knee, and toe are going to track forward, zipping up. Good. Find that drishti, that gazing point that's forward and down in front of you, not moving. Good. We'll pick up that left foot a little bit. Good. And we'll take that back. I should also say here, if picking up that opposite foot causes you to wobble, going into a warrior three is probably not where you need to be. Work on just that balance before moving on to more advanced things. Good. So my left hip, knee, and toes are pointing towards the floor. I'm pressing in and out of my hip and heel here. Good. You can play with taking away. Good. Maybe you play with a warrior three variation. Stay with the breath. And then once you're ready, good. You can bend both knees. Back foot's going to come up to meet the front, pressing through, coming all the way up and shaking out this leg. Good. And then once you're ready, good. We're going to make our way down to the floor. So I'll move my blocks forward from the top. Inhale and reach. Exhale, we'll bend and we'll bow. Good. Pressing into the feet and the legs. Lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, we'll bend and we'll bow. Planting the hands. Stepping or hopping back to plank. You choose take or skip the last flow of this class. I'm going to do a modified one. And then once you've made it back to your down dog, I'm going to drop those knees. Get a nice juicy child pose here. Breathing. Expanding. Maybe asking yourself, what should I open my heart to today? Is it a different idea, a different opinion? Maybe it's doing a pose a little bit differently today. What could you open your heart to today? Good. Hands under the shoulders. And we'll come back up. Good. All right, we're going to come to a seat. So we're going to work now into some forearm planking. And I'm going to do this in stages. So feel free to also stop in the different stages as you need them. So then we're going to start really basic and then work up to more advanced. So I'm going to start with my knees stacked here. Okay. And then I'm going to come down. This is my left side here. Some people like this forearm to be forward. Some people need to beat it out. Some people like a flat hand. Some people like a fist. None of that matters as long as that feels good to you. What does matter is you want your shoulder to be over or behind your elbow. We don't want to practice this way. And we don't want to hang here like this. So we're lifted in that rib cage. Now, nice and zipped. Your shoulders and your hips are always pointing in the same direction as side plank. If you're trying to point your chest down and take your hips up in the opposite direction, you will always be unstable. You're going to make it harder, and the harder is not going to be in a good way. Okay? So For some of you, especially if you got a shoulder issue, or you're weak in the shoulder, maybe this is where you just need to work today, and that's fine. Those of you moving on from here, could you zip up and lift the hips? Maybe coming up here, okay? So a little bit harder, take that top foot forward. Good. Maybe you're here. Maybe that bottom leg is long. Maybe the top leg can slide along. Maybe you can stack. Maybe you can reach. Maybe you can lift. So find yours. No hanging in that shoulder. And once you're ready, good. Come out in the way that you need to come out. Once you're ready, good. Find a child pose here. We're going to stretch out this side. So I'm going to walk my hands over towards my right side. Walk the left fingertips up. Lift the hips. Shift the hips towards the left. Good. Breathe and expand. Get that nice stretch on that left side. Should feel really good to you. Stretches all those muscles that were stabilizing that shoulder that you just worked. And then we'll come back up and back to center. Good. Now we're going to take that to the other side. So now I'm going to take my toes to the left side. I'm going to come down onto the right forearm. So how you do it on this side might be a little bit different than the other side. Maybe you were here on the other side and you need to be out here on this side. Totally fine. Totally fine. Again, what you're looking for is shoulders over or behind the elbow, and we're not hanging. We're nice and lifted. Good. So hips, shoulders, same direction again. You're welcome to stay right here and just work on your strength, work on the stability. That's fine. If you're moving on, maybe you lift the hip. Okay, good. Moving on, top foot can come forward. Maybe you lift. Maybe the bottom leg can lengthen. Maybe that top leg can slide along. Good. Maybe you're stacked. Maybe you're reaching. Maybe you're lifting. Find yours. Breathe. Good. Lifting out of the shoulder. Woo. And once you're ready, good. Come down. Come back onto the belly. Find your child's pose. And we'll find that stretch. So now I'm going to walk my hands over to the left side, walking right fingertips forward, lifting the hips, shifting the hips towards the right side, breathing. Good. Getting that nice stretch through there. Put a smile on that face. The hardest part is over, or at least I think the hardest part is over. Good. And then we'll come back up. Once you're ready, come back onto your back in the way that you want to do, the way that you need to. So just give yourself a nice little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here to each side. While we're adjusting any clothing. And then from here, okay, I'm just going to roll my shoulders back. We're going to come into a figure four series. This will be a figure four bridge, a figure four stretch, and a figure four twist. I'm going to start with the right ankle over that left knee. Okay. You can take this hand and kind of give it just a little bit of pressure if you'd like. You're also free to skip the bridge part and stay here. I'm going to roll my shoulders back. I'm going to press into the left foot, the arms, and both shoulders as I lift up. Good. And then I'll take that down. Good. You can stay here. You can bring it into the chest. You can thread it through. Point your toes towards their knees. So left toes towards the left knee, right toes towards the right knee. You can stay. You can rock. How about, what can I do better tomorrow? What can I do better tomorrow? How can I be better tomorrow? Good. We'll gently release. Good. I'm keeping that figure four. Good. Now, if you know figure four twist doesn't work for you, undo the legs and just do a basic supine twist. We're going to go to the left. So I'm going to zip up, arms out to the side. I'm going to let everything come over to the left as a single unit. Trying to keep right shoulder on the floor as I look to the right. And then using your abdominals to come all the way back up. Good. And we'll undo. Good. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. We're going to do that all on the other side. So now, left ankle on top of the right knee. You can take that left hand, a little bit of a stretch here. Good. You're free to stay here or find your bridge, pressing into the right foot, both arms, both shoulders. Lift up into that figure four bridge. And taking that down. Good. Finding the figure four stretch. Again, you can stay here or you can bring it into the chest. You can thread it through. You're free to rock. Breathing and expanding. Now, do my words and thoughts and actions align? Do my words, thoughts, and actions align? If not, why not? And what could you do to fix it? And then we'll take that down. Good. So basic supine twist or taking the figure four twist. Looking up. We're going to take everything to the right. Left shoulder grounded as you look to the left. And then once ready, go ahead, head back to center, zipping up. Good. As a single unit, always you can come one leg at a time if you need that. We'll come back to center. We're going to undo that. We're going to bring the knees into the chest and rock, rock here. Good. Let's give ourselves a different kind of hug. Let's take the arms out to the side. Right arm on top of the left. Reach for the shoulders or behind them. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. We'll open, open, open. This time, left arm on top of the right. Taking it down and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. And we'll set up for a short Shavasana here. You can let the knees stay bent in constructive rest. You can take things long. You can bring in any props that you may have. I think I'm going to bring my folded blanket in today as a next pillow. And the final thought that I'm going to give you, it's not a question, it's a statement that I'd like you to repeat to yourself. So if you ask yourself none of the questions I said, do repeat this one to yourself. Now, I fully love and embrace who I am, even as I continue to grow. I fully love and embrace who I am, even as I continue to grow. I'll leave you here for a few short moments to ponder that. And taking some deeper breaths here. And again, could you relax through the face and invite some movement of the fingers and the toes. Maybe taking head and neck from side to side. And choosing stillness, you can bring the knees into the chest. Or maybe you'd rather move any props out of the way if you use any today. And finding a nice full body stretch, taking legs long in front of you, arms long behind you. Reach. And then once ready, good. We'll bring the knees in, and then you choose to roll over to your right or left side, the side that works best for your body in this moment. Taking all the time that you need here, and when you're ready, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat. Good. Once you found that comfortable seat, find a nice tall spine again, noticing how you feel. Hopefully better than when you started. Palms turning up. Lift, lift, lift. Good. Touching palms together as you bring those hands down. Stop the thumbs at the forehead for good and true thoughts. To the lips for good and kind words. And to the heart for open and loving hearts. Knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted. No gain is ever reversed. May you be safe. May you stay well. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. And then, just as a reminder, remembering that the Namaste has many similar translations. The one that I like the best is the good and the light in me honors the good and the light in each one of you. So thank you again. Namaste.